Good evening, my friends. Welcome to the Black Diamond Call for Monday, the 14th of August. This is John, as I am each week here with you on this beautiful event that we do here on DALivecall.com. If you are brand new, welcome to our community. I know that as one of the senior coaches here, I have just been avalanched with new members, and it is so exciting. We are exploding, and I think I can speak on behalf of your sponsors, all the affiliates, all the other coaches, and of course the corporate staff and Michael Force himself. We are so excited not only to see Digital Altitude blowing up with momentum, which it is, as we enter phase 2 of our development of this whole program, but also to welcome you here. We are attracting so many spectacular entrepreneurs and burgeoning entrepreneurs, people who have just, in some cases for the first time, decided that it's time to take control of your life and your immediate financial future. So you get my respect and honor. Thank you for being here as part of this community, which of course many of us, thousands of us, already know and love. So welcome to our new members. A couple quick announcements. Actually one main announcement, and that is that we have our Marketing Mastery event coming up in 2 months from today. Yes, on October 14th and 15th, live in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are going to be having our Marketing Mastery event for the latter half of 2017. This is for everyone. This is really a gift that Michael gives everyone every couple times a year, where we get together at or below cost. In fact, if you haven't already gotten early bird tickets, my goodness, grab a few of those. They're only $97. All you got to do is get there and grab yourself a hotel room. But we are going to be meeting at a beautiful venue in sunny Las Vegas, and every top earner in the company is going to be there. We want you there, everyone. People are coming in from all over the world for this event. It will be the biggest Digital Altitude event yet. So be sure to meet us there. If you need more details on that, check your back office or go directly to digitalaltitude.co/MME, as in Marketing Mastery Event. digitalaltitude.co/MME. And you can get all the details and get the early bird pricing, which I think is like 75% off or something. It's really, really great. So do that. There's also a contest going on, which I think a lot of you know about, a lot of you are participating in. And if you're just showing up here and you don't know what this is yet, that's okay. You've got time because there are prizes for everyone who wants to participate, including new members, right? So it's not just like the big marketing gurus who can, get the cash and fabulous prizes, and they are fabulous, by the way. Michael Force tends to, well, I could just tell you he's the most generous CEO I've ever worked with. This guy tends to over-deliver on everything. So you can check that out. There's more details on digitalaltitude.co/MME contest. So just add the word contest to that last link I just told you about, and you'll get to see all about that. But tonight, this is the Black Diamond Call. So this is what we do each week, where we just kind of let our hair down, if we have any hair left. Some of us do. In fact, my co-host does as well. He's a really GQ guy. He looks really slick. And some of you may have met him. But before we bring him out, I'll just tell you what this is about. This is where you get to hear from myself and other top earners who have made our mark in the industry. And we've discovered how to get expert level results by doing a lot of study and a lot of application and coming up with some solutions. And we want to share those solutions with you so that hopefully you can reach your goals. Excuse me. Hopefully you can reach your goals even faster than we reached ours. That's a delightful idea for us to consider. So the rules are for this call: take what you like and leave the rest. Okay. See how these ideas apply into your life. Some of them will. Some of them may not. Okay. This is about what you do with it. It's not just here for entertainment value. We want you to take these ideas and run with them. And then, of course, as I always mention, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how I roll, at least on this call anyway. I tend to keep myself in the cage a little bit on our wake-up calls. But when it comes to Black Diamond, anything goes. So that being said, I've got with me today a guy who I met, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. 5 years, my goodness, time flies. I met him in another company where we were doing some events together, and he was a top earner there as well, and growing his affiliate marketing business, becoming proficient at all things internet marketing. Actually, I shouldn't say all things internet marketing. It was the things that he chose to do. It's not like he was a jack of all trades. right? Is one of the things we teach here in Digital Altitude is, to go deep in areas where you've got an interest and an affinity and some aptitude, rather than trying to be all things to all people. But this guy certainly has made his mark in the industry and has developed quite an entrepreneurial mindset, which he was an entrepreneur before he showed up in online marketing. He was in the, shall I call it the real world? He was in the real world, working his ass off to make like almost no money. And then, he found out about, online marketing and affiliate marketing and all the things we know and love and enjoy here in Digital Altitude and throughout our industry. And, after having been around, he's chosen to hang his hat here with DA. And there are reasons for that. And in no small part because he recognizes the value and the magnitude of what we've got here. So this isn't a DA sales pitch, but again, it's just, I sit back and I just find myself being grateful, not only for the opportunity, not only for the timing of the opportunity, but also, probably most importantly, for the quality of people that I get to participate in this opportunity with. I've said from time to time, and this was an expensive lesson for me to learn, more important than what business you do is who you do it with. That cost me a few million, by the way, to learn that lesson. Hopefully I could save you a few $1 million. Well, the fact that you're here right now is a good indicator. So with that, let me go ahead and bring out my buddy, Paulo Barosso. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, John, I'm great, buddy. Privileged to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me to be on this call and to inspire, obviously, the new people that come into this business. So I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go, dude. Thanks for having me.
Good. Yeah. Well, thank you for raising your hand, because you're a contributor. There are plenty of consumers in the world, and then there are a few producers, and you're a producer. And so to be able to share you and for you to volunteer your time to come here and participate in this company-wide broadcast and podcast, I just, hats off to you, my friend. Thank you for all you do. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking because you know what happens when I start talking. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute my microphone so I don't hijack the call, and take it away, my friend.
Cheers, John. So basically, my name is Paulo. I'm an online marketer or affiliate marketer more per se. Been online successfully for the past 5 years, but unsuccessfully for the past maybe 15. Been very, very struggling marketer for the longest time ever. So to briefly tell you my story, I'm a Portuguese immigrant, as you guys can gather. English is not my first language, as you can gather by my accent. So arrived in England at 18, and I got into the printing industry as a profession, which, by the way, was not something that I planned for. It was not really my desire in life to become a printer, so to speak, in the printing industry. I just got into it because I had a family with 2 small kids, and life was tough, I just moved to England. Money was pretty tight. Lived in a rundown area. I wanted more for myself and for my family, so ended up doing printing for 20 years, believe it or not. And I did it to earn a living. I did it to put food on the table and to pay the bills, but it wasn't my passion. And I knew that I wanted more. I knew that I came to this earth to do more, to aspire for more, and to really give my family, especially my 2 young kids, everything they deserved. And I remember promising my kids, Dad, one day he's got to take you to Disney World in Florida. We got to have a good time. But every year I could not fulfill my promise. And then the reason was because I didn't earn enough. I was always broke. There was never enough money, by the end of the month. As a matter of fact, here in England, we used to get paid on the 1st of the month. And guess what? By the 15th, by the middle of the month, I had absolutely zero, no money left, in order to pay the bills and so forth. So what that did as a family man, I'm a Mediterranean guy. I like to provide for my family, and I wanted to provide with them with the best things in life, was I started looking elsewhere because I wasn't passionate about printing. And by the way, I wasn't even earning enough money there to keep me going until the end of the month. So I knew that was better, and I knew I could do better. I just had that feeling that I could do much better than the present job that I had, and being broke and having to get up, by the way, at 5:30 every single morning and drive 60 miles because I was not in London, I was in a different town, so I had to drive 60 miles there and back every single day, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, coming home at 8 o'clock at night, sometimes not even seeing my children during the week because they were small and they had to, obviously, to be in bed by 9. So I felt, like a part-time dad. So not only was the money bad in the present occupation that I was doing, but I was a part-time dad. I didn't have time to see my kids, and I was working weekends. It just got to a point where I had my back against the wall, and I said to myself, I have to change this. So I asked myself, what do I like? It was definitely not printing. I did it for a job, for money, but I didn't do it because I was passionate about printing. If I'm honest with you, the last 5 years that I did print, I absolutely hated it. I dreaded, waking up to that alarm clock every single morning to go to work and work with people I didn't even like. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you on this call, you and the people listening to this recording know exactly what I'm talking about that. So I felt I have to change this. There's one life. I'm a true believer we live one life. Let's live to the best we can. So I started looking for ways to earn money online because I like computers. I like being my own boss, being an entrepreneur, working from home. Why? Because I wanted to see my kids grow. Being a part-time dad like I was, I didn't want that. So I started looking for ways to work from home, and guess what, guys? I joined everything under the earth, anything to do with making money online or gambling online or anything of that sort where you can work behind your computer. I tried it, and I did it. I think I tried it for like 10 years, and I failed miserably at everything I touched. It's actually one thing that I was good at. And that was failing. I would start something. If I would make $1 million in like 7 days, I would give it up and then try something else. I had the shiny object syndrome, and I'm pretty sure some of you know what I'm talking about, right? So I did try a lot of things, which I'm sometimes embarrassed to mention here. But guess what? I failed at everything, and I couldn't find something, a system, or something that could work from home and actually take me full time so I could give up my printing job. I just couldn't until what changed for me, guys, was I found a mentor. I started looking for someone because I was getting fed up in joining business after business after business and just carry on failing. I thought to myself, let me find someone online who's successful, someone that can be a role model to me, someone that has everything that I want in life. And I went looking for that person, and I managed to find this gentleman over the United States. I'm in England, by the way, and he was in the States, and I managed to trace him with a phone call. I got his number, I called him, and I said, man, I hope you can help me because I've got my back against the wall. I want to provide for my children, I want to provide for my family, I want to aspire to do more, I want to help others, I want to be able to work from home and be my own entrepreneur, but I just can't find a way. And luckily enough, after a long conversation on the phone, this man took me under his wing and he became my mentor. And he taught me. Now this is the time, guys, that you should really be listening because this is, to me, the biggest secret, if you want to say, if you believe there is a secret. But the biggest breakthrough I had in my business was what this man first taught me. And that was mindset. He didn't come to me teaching me about marketing. You have to buy this traffic, Paulo. You need to learn Facebook. You need to learn YouTube. It was nothing to do with that whatsoever. All he told me was this. You obviously on a downer. You obviously broke. And the reason why you are where you are right now in your life, it's purely because of the way you think and because of your mindset. You don't have the entrepreneurial mindset or the winner's mindset per se. And this was the first time that actually someone told me that, because before, when I would meet any guru or buy their courses and so forth, all I was told was to learn marketing and buy some more stuff. But this guy was telling me a completely different story. He was telling me that, yes, you need to learn marketing, of course, because you need to learn this craft. But to be honest with you, success online is 80% mindset and only 20% is marketing. And I said, say again? I couldn't believe him. And, and he said, yes, it's 80% mindset. So if you get your mindset right, you need to listen to this, Paulo, because this is really important. He said to me, if you get your mindset right, everything else will fall into place. And then the marketing, I can teach you that. And he actually laughed because he joked with me saying, marketing, I can even teach a monkey how to do marketing. And it's true. Marketing is not really that, it is important, but it, in a figure of things, it's not the most important thing. It was mindset. And guess what, guys? He became my mentor, and I promised him I'd do everything you want me to do. Although I was a bit skeptical. I didn't understand anything about mindset, but he made me start reading books, which was something, by the way, I never did in my life. I never read any books. And he put me on a 30-day, let's call it Mind Fest, which meant I had to read a book for 30 minutes every single day. I had to listen to an audio for another 30 minutes, and I had to do that for 30 days. And the deal was, I was not allowed to complain, whine, or surround myself with any negativity, meaning, he said to me, you have to stop watching TV for 30 days. And I went like, say what? Because I love my TV. I mean, I lived like this, guys. I would come from work at 8 o'clock at night, kiss my kids good night if they were still awake, and then just sit in front of the TV and go to bed by 11, 12 o'clock, and then rinse and repeat, do it all over again. And then the next morning I would go to work, listen to the radio, listen to the news, all the crap that I was being basically brainwashed. And what my mentor told me was like, during these 30 days, Paulo, you're not to watch any TV, any news, no newspapers, and don't surround yourself with negativity. And guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, I have to admit. But you know what? I was so desperate for success. I was so desperate for a change and a breakthrough in my life that I took it very, very seriously. And for 30 days, I was reading. And just to give you an example, I started reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was one of the books that he actually asked me to start reading. And all I was doing about an hour a day of reading. I was reading that book, I was listening to an audio, and I can actually give you guys the name of the audio, because I remember it was not The Secret, and I actually forgot the name now. I really wanted to give you this name, the name of this audio, because it helped me a lot. And maybe later on, after John jumps in and we start having more of a conversation, the name of that audio will come. And it was called actually The Strangest Secrets, again by Napoleon Hill. I really urge you guys to go and get that audio. I'm sure you can get it for free if you just Google the name, The Strangest.
Hey, Paulo, are you talking about The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale?
By Earl Nightingale, correct. Yeah, that's absolutely
that's while you're talking, I'm going to go find it on YouTube and post it here in the chat roll.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much, John, because that audio combined with the reading, I don't know, that's something magical to you guys. I don't know how to explain this, because I was a very, very, very negative person. If you would have met me 5 years ago, before I did this Mindset Fest, I was a completely different person. I was very negative. I saw the world in a completely different way. I thought the world owned me. I was always whining and bitching and so forth. So my life was just a complete hell. But anyway, I did it for 30 days, guys. And another part of the deal was I was not allowed to stop. So if I would stop at day 10, for example, and I would stop reading or listening to the audios, or not doing this 30-day thing, the deal was I would have to go back to day 1. And I have to say that I actually didn't stop. And I did the whole 30 days where I didn't really mix myself with any negativity. I wasn't complaining. I stopped watching TV. It was the hardest thing ever. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't easy. But you know what? Something happened. I can't say it happened straight away. Like in 30 days, wow, my mindset was completely changed. I was a new man, and things start really, going for me. But one thing that did happen was people at my work, they start noticing something different. And what I mean by that was like, people noticed this was like towards the end of the program, they were like asking me, what's up with you? Because your aura, they use the word aura, which I really like. Your aura looks different. You look so much light. You're smiling. What's going on? And that was the proof I needed, the feedback from my coworkers telling me that I look different. And guess what, guys? I did those 30 days and I didn't stop. I went past those 30 days. So I carry on reading. I carry on because I drove for like 60 miles each day. So I had an hour there and back. I had like 2 hours to burn in the car. Guess what? I turned my car audio into a university on wheels. That's what I like to call it. So I had tapes like, The Secrets, Bob Proctor, which is someone that I really, really love, Joe Vitale and guys like that. So all day long when I would drive to work and obviously after finish work would go back home, I would have an hour or 2 hours even depending on the traffic. I would be listening to these audios. And past the 30 days, then I start noticing something really, really incredible. I start noticing myself having different thoughts, being more positive, and more importantly, starting to attract the right people into my life and the right opportunities. And I know this is hard to believe, but it really was. This was the last piece of the puzzle for me, because I used to call myself a crap magnet. Yeah, crap magnet. And what I mean by a crap magnet, I used to attract all the bad luck, all the bad people, and all the bad deals into my life. But after I was doing this, like reading books and listening to audios, listening to positivity, and starting to surround myself with positive people as well. The law of synchronicity, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I started attracting the right people into my life, and then guess what? The right businesses start appearing in my life. I cannot, say here that after 30 days or even 60 days I start making a lot of money, because it's not true. But the right opportunities start coming on, started to show up in my life, and then this incredible mentor soon after, gave me a business proposition that I couldn't refuse, and that's when my online career took over. Joined this company with him, and this is totally truth, guys, within 3 months, 90 days it took me, I became full-time online marketer, and I give up my printing job that I did it for over 20 years, waking up at 5:30 in the morning and hating it and being broke. I managed to earn enough money to actually, go full-time. And that's my story, guys. I have to really, motivate you guys to start reading books and really surrounding yourself with positive-minded people, like-minded people, role models, people that inspire you guys. And what a best way to do that by, for example, attending events. There's an event, an MMA event, the A's event in Las Vegas. What a perfect place would be for you guys to do your very, very best to turn up, because if you guys do that, you will notice something that I cannot explain. You'll be surrounded by like-minded people. You will feel the energy, and you will understand, you will have a light bulb moment that you will understand that this is the sort of people that you have to surround yourselves with. I didn't have any good people to surround myself with, because the environment that I was in 5 years ago, I was surrounded by broke people. All my friends were broke. I'm going to be honest with you. Great people, and some of them are still my friends. Great people, but they were all broke. I did not have role models. I didn't know any millionaires, by the way. I didn't know anybody that could inspire me and I could surround myself with. So what I had to do, I had to go to events, guys. I had to go to events like the A's event. And guess what? Most of these events were in America, in the United States, and I lived in England. And I've never been in America. Obviously I've been to America lots of times right now, but when I was broke 5 years ago, I've never been to America. So that's what it took me to get out of the situation that I was in. I wanted to surround myself with millionaires. I wanted to surround myself with people who were doing better than me. So what did I do? I started to attend events. So the company that I joined with my mentor, they did events as well. And I had my first ever event in Miami. And I remember this very, very clearly, 5 years ago. Never been on a plane. I was afraid of flying, by the way. I had to break through a lot of fears. And I attended that event, and guys, it sounds like I'm pre-framing you guys for something, but I'm not. I'm just telling you my experience. John asked me to be here tonight just to obviously share with you guys my experience. And this is really my experience, guys. When I attended that first event was when I had that light bulb moment. You know, I wasn't even full-time yet. I was still in that printing company, and I was doing online marketing part-time. I was earning a little money. Not a lot, but earning enough to think this is going to work, but I need to go to an event. Why? Because my mentor told me to. My mentor promised me, if you come to this event, it's going to change your life. And what I did, I just packed my bags. I had to find the money to go to Miami, though, because I didn't have enough money, but I managed to find the money for the plane ticket and the hotel, and I flew to Miami. I attended that event, and that's when I had my light bulb moment, my breakthrough, because I was looking around the room, and there was about roughly, I don't know, maybe 200 people in that room, and I thought, wow, they were all after what I wanted. We were all like-minded people, and I felt home. That's the word that I'm trying to look for. I really felt home, and I felt to myself, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, period. I have to go back. I have to find a way to work full-time doing this business, because I don't want to go back to printing. It wasn't my passion. I'm passionate about this because it wasn't just about the money. All the money was, obviously, I needed it, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I was selfish in the beginning. I wanted to come to this business just for the money because I wanted to help myself and my family. But then at that event, I saw the wider spec, which was, what if I can help myself, but also I can help others, you know? And that was a huge breakthrough. And it's hard to convey this message to you guys here on this webinar, because unless you guys attend one, you don't know what I'm talking about. And I promise you this, guys, if you attend an event, if you come to Las Vegas, if you come to DA's event, and you've got to meet like-minded people, you've got to see leaders, that people that will inspire you, you've got to make new friendships, you've got to break bread with people that will inspire you. That's what you need in your life. So if you don't have this kind of mentors in your life right now, because whatever the situation you are right now, guess what? You can go and find them. Do what I did. I went and find mine. And you know what? They were 5,000 miles away because I was in England and I didn't know anybody here in England. And I had to fly over to America to find my, mentors, buddies, people who became friends, people who inspired me. They were doing much, much better than me. But this was the kind of people that I had to surround myself with. Why? Because I wanted to be like them. And guess what, guys? Fast forward 5 years later, I'm still here. I'm still doing this full time. I think I'm doing okay. I'm not doing too bad. I live a wonderful life, guys. I really do. I don't want to talk too much about myself because this has nothing to do with, it's not about me tonight. I just want to inspire you guys to believe. I want to install this belief system in you guys that you can do it. I want you guys, obviously there's no camera, you can't see me, but I want you guys to believe that I'm just a normal guy, a normal Joe, so to speak, a working guy that came out of nowhere. I arrived in England at 18, guys. Listen to this. I think I had a couple $100 in my pocket, and listen to this one. This is a killer. I spoke no English. My first language is Portuguese, by the way. I arrived in England with no English whatsoever, and guess what kind of jobs I did? Manual work, McDonald's and stuff like that. I came from middle class. I came from a family where they think money is the root of all evil. And I'm not telling you guys this to put my family down or anything like that. Bless them. I love my family. But I want you guys to understand that I came from nothing. I had the wrong mentality. I had the wrong mindset. My whole family had the wrong mindset because they always taught me that you have to work for money. You need to work hard, Paulo, for money. And the harder you work, the more money you earn, and you're going to be okay, you know. And obviously, I found out later that that wasn't the truth. You know, there's other ways that you can earn a living, and you can do it with passion and help others and make more in a day that some people make in a month. But I want you guys to understand this. The reason why I'm telling you this is to inspire you. That's why I'm here tonight. I want to inspire you guys that you guys can do more. And in my opinion, it's all to do with mindset. Because if you change your mind, if you change your mindset, you change your life. And most of the people that I have in my team, and I'm nearly finished, John, because I'm pretty sure you want to jump in, is the people that really take their business to the next level and are succeeding in my team are the people that take this on board and they really work on their mindset. Period. The people that you see on the leaderboards, if you guys want to see proof, go on the leaderboards of DA and check every single name. And I kid you not, every single one of the leaders on leaderboards in DA, they all have the mindset, the winner's mindset. You need that, guys. You need that not only in business, you need that in life. You know, your personal relationships, how you deal with people, you know, your co-workers even. If you guys are obviously in full-time employment or part-time, whatever, you need to have the right mindset in order to succeed in anything you do. And that's really why I'm here tonight. I hope, you know, I made sense. I hope, you know, you guys take on board my story, my struggle, and then obviously my winnings as well. And it's hard work. I'm not going to say that's going to be easy, guys, but I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be worth it because I live a beautiful life. I really do. You know, I don't wake up to an alarm clock anymore. I earn enough to, to have a good life. I travel whenever I want. I'm my own boss now. I deal with wonderful people. I have wonderful people, wonderful friends now. You know, people that, you know, I can really can call friends. You know, very positive, always helpful, always pushing me forward, you know, pushing my limits. And I love that. I love that. So I have a completely different life now. And let me tell you this, guys, you can have anything you want, but you've got to change within. And if you do that, I promise you that your life will change, because if you got to carry on doing the same thing every single day, expecting a different result, guess what? It's not going to happen. Yet I live my life like that. I was expecting different results, but yet I kept doing the same thing. I didn't want to change my life. I wanted to, you know, watch TV all day long and just put my feet up and then go to sleep and rinse and repeat. So if you guys decide to put a line in the sand and say, okay, I'm going to take this on actually, I'm going to change my life, I'm going to change my mindset in the way I think, and you guys start doing whatever it takes to change your mindset, I tell you something, miracles will happen in your life. How do I know this? Because it happened in mine, not just in mine, in a lot of successful people that I meet. And all the books that I read about successful people, they all have the same message, which was mindset. So with that said, John, I hope you're there, buddy. And thanks so much for having me here. I really appreciate sharing my story. I'm already hoping to reach one person here. I mean, I'm not hoping to reach everybody, obviously, because maybe some people won't get my message, but that's my experience, and mindset was what worked for me and what changed my life, and I will carry on spreading this message until my last breath, so to speak. John, you there, buddy?
I'm sure. Yeah, I am here, Paulo. And you know what? What a great message it is. And it's a simple message, and it's one that anyone can engage right now. Right now, there's nothing you need to ramp up for. There's nothing that you could be. You're less prepared than Paulo was. No, this is a decision. This is a decision about who you're going to be and how you're going to occur in your business. You know, Paulo, I get to talk to a lot of people as a coach, and as you know, I run my own companies as well. I've got clients, I've got customers, and I have a lot of exposure to people. Now, I will say this: I get to talk with people who are more entrepreneurial than, let's say, the average person who has no motivation for anything better. They're just, going through life, and yes, they are watching 5 hours of television per day, which is the American average last time I saw the statistics. They're not getting anything done in their life besides survival. I would suppose, at a slightly better level than, animals and stuff. But to think that if that's it, like that's what life's about, is go to work, pay bills, die, that's it, right? Hopefully have some enjoyable moments too, or I guess perhaps endure what like the news or government-run academia tells you to think, or what everybody else believes. I mean, it sounds like cattle to me. And so I don't have a whole lot of time with those people, because my time is taken up by people who have their hands in the air saying, I want to be, do, and have more, Paulo. People like yourself, like when you showed up at that first event, you were open, you were coachable. That is something that people can decide to do in a moment of clarity. People can decide to be something they haven't been before. And it may sound metaphysical, and in some ways it is metaphysical, but it is truly the precursor to the worldly success that so few people will enjoy in this lifetime, because they haven't demonstrated the willingness that you just demonstrated. Now, back to where I'm going with this, I get to talk to a lot of people even right here inside the digital altitude community. And I can tell you that it is not uncommon for me to find people who are very interested in the nuts and bolts, the doingness of the business, the placing of the ads, the things you mentioned early in your talk, with how do we do Facebook, or what about this email thing, and solo ads, and on it goes. And that's all nice, that's all valid. However, it is all secondary, as you indicated. It is all secondary. In fact, I'd say secondary at best, because the vast majority of attention that I've put onto becoming successful as an entrepreneur is exactly what you just said. It is the mindset, it is who I was becoming in the process, and that started with a decision. That started with me deciding to be coachable, and to stop talking, and to start listening, and to, in some cases, listen to people who certainly I admired their results, right? By their fruits you'll know them. But it was, in some cases, listening to people who their attention wasn't so much on, the logistics or the nuts and bolts how-to stuff. Their attention was on how they occur in the marketplace. Because, once I got this, Paulo, I started to realize that more important than what I do is the person who's doing it. Like, who is doing this work? You could go write emails, I could go write emails. You could make videos, I could make videos. We can all do the same activities. In fact, in another classic book, you mentioned the classic recording by Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, but in another classic book, which I've referred many people to, as recently as this weekend, a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. He made the point, and I've talked about this point before, but he made the point that two people engaged in the same business activities, maybe even in the same town. Okay, this book was written over 100 years ago. So picture two people in the same town, and one gets rich and the other remains poor. They're both doing the same thing. Why does one get rich and the other remain poor? And according to Wallace D. Wattles, the author of this book, he said, well, the one who gets rich does things in the certain way. And in order to do things in the certain way, you must think in the certain way. And he said the certain way. He didn't say a certain way. He said the certain way. So what is the certain way? And I had to refer to my favorite self-help book, which is the dictionary, to figure out what this guy was talking about. And wouldn't you know it, one of the definitions for the word certain is the absence of doubt, certainty. And that is the certain way, which transcends time and activity, and are you a barber, are you a blacksmith, are you an online marketer in digital altitude in the 21st century? That doesn't matter, okay? What does matter is who's doing it. A person of certainty, or a person who's constantly introverting, wondering, about all the secondary or tertiary considerations that are not nearly as important as who they're becoming in the process, or what effect they're going to have in the marketplace when they put themselves out there, assuming they do put themselves out there, and a lack of mindset can certainly prevent one from doing that. Here's the thing, Paulo, could you or I be on here hosting a call for the listening of all people in the digital altitude community and on the podcast and for posterity, right? This episode will live on through the eons, okay? These words are now immortal. Could we do that if we didn't have a good dose of certainty, a good dose of self-belief, self-esteem, self-image, self-confidence?
Absolutely.
Right. So that precedes all of this. All of it is preceded by who are you and who do you intend to be and how will you show up, not only in your own life, but in the lives of others who you will affect. Yes, you will have an effect. You will. Maybe a good one. Maybe a not so good one. I don't know. That's your choice. But my goodness, what you put in is what comes out. So when you start studying and when you start traveling around the world and going to events and meeting other people who have walked the path that you intend to walk and who have done it successfully, not just that they know about it and they can give you some academic knowledge, or not that they looked at it enough to be critical of it, but they've never been successful themselves, but the actual advice, the real advice, the advice that you want, the advice from people who actually know about something to the extent that they've got experiential knowledge to the point of success. Now we got somebody who can give you advice. Okay, and those are the people that, you're not just going to cross their path in the street per se, right? You had to go across the Atlantic Ocean. Actually, that's because of your inclinations, where you found yourself. You were looking to align yourself with people who happened in this case to be based out of the United States. But my goodness, there's so many powerful people in Europe, Australia, Asia, et cetera, South America, Africa. We got people all over the place. The only place I could tell you that I have not met, powerful marketing entrepreneurs is Antarctica. We just haven't penetrated that market yet, Paulo. I don't know if you got any reps down there. As a bit of trivia, Antarctica is the continent with the highest average IQ. Did you know that?
No, I didn't actually, no.
Well, now you know. And the reason why is because there's only like 20 people down there, and they're all like genius scientists. Right. So they're just not into marketing. They're into like chipping on ice and, checking out what's in the rocks and stuff. But anyway, the point here is that we've got a very powerful advantage for anyone who's willing to engage, and that's something you can engage right now as in right now. In fact, I would venture to say that anyone who's listening to this call live or listening to the podcast, you get credit for that, right? You're doing it. You're doing it. Congratulations. You could be going and watching kitten videos on YouTube or something, or debating the news with whatever mass media wants to feed you these days, propaganda and everything else. But you're doing what you can have an effect with. You can have an effect here in your life and in your immediate financial future. That's where you get to be cause. Can you have an effect on the problems of the world, which are fed to you incessantly on demand by mass media? No, you can't have an effect with that. I mean, if you want to, abandon this post and go take up a post in politics or something, I suppose if you're not corruptible, I suppose you could start to have a better effect. But my goodness, what a mess, right? Can you have an effect on that? Probably not. And I tend to get caught up in this stuff too, Paulo. Everything that you've been talking about, I needed to hear. I need reminders, right? I get on YouTube and there it is. There's all the stuff. Come look at me, John. Look me, look at me, look at me. We got problems in the world, right? And you should have an opinion about it. In fact, we're going to tell you what that opinion should be. So, and what does that do for my bank account? Right. So here's what, and again, you've inspired me so much, so I'm going on a bit of a rant here. Here's what I've assigned as far as my purpose. Here's the purpose I've assigned to myself, something I can have an effect with, and that is to expand prosperity and prosperity consciousness for myself and for as many people as I can touch in my time here on this planet. Yes, that's something I can do something about. Me, as an individual. Yes, as an individual, I can do something about that. And yes, the more I work within that circle of influence that is constantly expanding, as long as I'm on purpose, the more I can reach out into other circles of concern, as Stephen Covey, the late author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, tremendous book, as he talked about, right? You focus on your circle of influence, and as that expands, it will reach further into your circle of concern, which at the moment you can't do anything about. Yes, you're concerned, but what effect can you have? We're talking about being effective here, not about you being concerned or preoccupied or distracted. So thank you for the reminders, Paulo. I haven't gone on a media fast in some time. A media fast being what Paulo referred to previously when he talked about no television, or, and I guess in my case, no YouTube, for 90 days or whatever. Therapeutic exercise. Not comfortable, but therapeutic. So, Paulo, thank you for all you do, and thank you for being here. And, like I said in the beginning, it's great to align ourselves with, people who have walked the path and who know enough about the path to be able to shoot people straight and say, you know what? Yeah, you'll learn marketing. That's good. That's valid. But who's going to learn the marketing? Who's going to do this work? The same broke, down and out, mental half a cripple who couldn't get out of his own way, or the person who is going to make an effect on the marketplace and who this marketing training is a good investment in, right? Not the person who can't get out of their own way. That's the difference. That's the difference. And you know what? I will say this in closing. That's also one of the main reasons why these events and this whole idea of immersing ourselves in a society, in a community where the success we seek is a reality, not just a theory. That's why that is so irreplaceable. It's the greatest accelerator there is, and my goodness, we have it here dripping all over the place. We've got coaches. My goodness, people get started. They get a real life human being to talk to, a successful human being at that. Imagine that. On the house, right? Paulo, I'm working with members right now who've gotten their RISE programs, and they're looking to really maximize this opportunity and get as much juice out of the orange as they can. What an honor to be able to work with these people, right? And so I'm right. So I'm in that post, and you know what? I look at like all the things that we learn as we go through the Aspire steps, and people listen to Michael and all that. That's the content, yes, but to couple that with real live interaction with people like yourself who have made millions doing this sort of thing. People like myself. Again, this isn't a self-aggrandizing statement, just acknowledging the obvious. Yes, millions of dollars under my belt. What is that worth? Unfair advantage. Unfair advantage. So people, be coachable and engage with your coaches. In fact, if I'm your coach and you just recently were assigned to me, get on my calendar, do it now, because I am just buried. Avalanche of new members over here. So get on my calendar. I got to see if I can make a few more slots available. But Paulo, I've been going since 7 o'clock this morning, non-stop. Yeah, non-stop.
You're a machine, John, man.
Well, I love it. That's the thing. It's like I get to do this. This is work. Yeah, well, yeah, it's work. When we look at the definition of work means on-purpose action. So yes, I'm doing very purposeful action. So I am working, and I love it. So Paulo, you know what we should do? We should open it up for Q&A and commentary from our listeners.
Yeah, perfect. And by the way, I just want to praise you, John, because I don't think you get praised enough. You're doing a great job, by the way. I do listen to your calls silently, and let me tell you something, man. What you're doing for the community, I want to thank you. You're amazing. You're doing a great job. You're a great guy as well, by the way. And everyone on this call should do their best to come to Vegas to meet John, because not only John is obviously a great man and a great inspirational speaker, but he's ever so funny. You're amazing, man. So I just want to say thanks and, and clap it up for you. You're great.
Oh, well, thank you, Paulo. And you're right. I don't get enough praise. So everyone, feel free to be lavish in praise. What book is that from? Oh, I think that was a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Be lavish in praise and approbation, something like that. I'll have to look it up. But yeah. Anyway, thank you, Paulo, for the acknowledgement. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you tune in. and that you're getting
Absolutely.
value as well. You see that? I get value every time that I
Absolutely.
hear you or even myself. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I should probably take that advice. Thanks, John. Okay, great.
Mhm.
So here we go. We have open lines. So if you would like to come out here and interact with Paulo Barosso, this is your big opportunity to do so before we get to Vegas. And you can do so by raising your hand. If you're on the free conference call app, you can click the button that used to be your mute button. That will now be the raise your hand button. And if you're on a phone or Skype and you dialed in using a phone number, then you can click *6. *6 will raise your hand, and then I think you have to click 1 to confirm that you're really raising your hand. Anyway, please don't be shy. We want to hear from a few people before we wrap up the call for tonight. Q&A session is open, and don't be shy. We've got a bunch of people here on the line. Somebody come out and questions or comments for Paulo. By the way, Paulo, I don't know if you're looking at the chat roll. I think you're just on a phone right now, but if you were on the chat roll,
Yeah.
you've got a lot of acknowledgement, a lot of praise here for Paulo. Let's hear from
Great.
Paulo in the chat.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. You know, I'm happy that people are taking on board what my experience was. You know, this is not stuff, this is not theory, guys. It's not something I read in a book and I'm just talking, you know, some nonsense. This is real stuff. Sometimes it's stuff I can't explain why, whatever you would call it, law of attraction or, you know, how these things work. But my life has changed it's like a miracle and it really works. So I can't explain sometimes how things work, like I can't explain electricity. I use it. I don't really understand how electricity works, not that I care. But all I know is if you do the steps, then the fruit that will come out of it, it will help you. And I'm a very simple guy. I don't think I've explained a very complex theory or anything like that. All I said was, guys, just read for 30 minutes, listen to an audio for another 30, and stay away from TV and news and stupid people. I don't think that's, it's kind of hard when you are in that kind of mindset, but I'm not saying that all of you, not just the people who are listening to this, but also from the recording, there will be more people listening to this. I don't think all of you were in the kind of mindset that I was. I was really negative, guys. So for you, it might even actually be easier. I'm gonna give you my side of the facts, which was hard. Yeah, it was hard because I was so negative for so long. So for me, it was hard. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to be hard for everybody. Maybe for some of you, you get it and you think, oh, this is an easy one. And then you go and do it, and guess what? And your lives will change. Period.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we have a couple of callers in queue, and our first is my buddy Glenn. He's our co-host on the Inside Digital Altitude call each week, which everyone comes to and shares and participates, right, everybody? We do that. We had a great one this past week, by the way. Thank you all who stepped up and participated. Glenn, you're live on the air, sir.
Hey, John, thanks very much. And you're absolutely right. Fabulous Friday call. I'll make it quick. Paulo, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I could hear your passion for your own experience and for how you changed your mindset. I could hear your passion right over the line, and it gave me a couple of thoughts. And I'll leave you with this. One, it let me know that I'm absolutely in the right place, surrounded by the right people, and I'm on the right track with this business, with this opportunity, and with how I'm choosing to build it. And I thank you for the inspiration and for reminding me of that. The other thought I have is that I would love to have had more of my team on this call. There are so many of us who are not on this call, who were not privileged to hear this wonderful inspiration live, and I'm going to see to it that more of my team is on these calls going forward in the future. Paulo, I'm looking forward to meeting you in Las Vegas. Back to you guys.
Awesome. Perfect, Liam. Awesome. Thank you so much for the acknowledgments, and obviously this call will be recorded so you can pass it on to your team. It's all about, you know, motivating people, Glenn, and getting people to the event, because I tell you what, and by the way, you are in the right place, 100% guarantee. I mean, John has been in this industry much longer than me. I'm kind of regarding, if you compare me to John, I'm a newbie. I've only been having success really for 5 years. I mean, I've failed for another 10, but successfully for 5 years. But let me tell you something. In 5 years, I learned a lot, obviously. I don't know, I learned a few things. And we get this feeling, and John maybe will back me up on this. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. But when you're in this industry for so long, you know what works and what doesn't. And let me tell you something. You are definitely 100% in the right place. And I can vouch for that. I mean, I don't promote a lot of businesses. BA is my home. It's where I planted my flag. And let me tell you something. You are in the right place. And to have people like John supporting DA, John is a beast. I mean, I shouldn't use the word beast, sorry. He's a dinosaur. Because John is very, very successful. I'm not here to pump up John, you know, but John is a very
fossil. They dragged me out of the crypt.
He is. So what I'm trying to say, you know, what I'm trying to say is John knows what works and what doesn't. Anything that John supports. I'm a big follower of John, by the way. So I've seen John obviously succeeding online for a very, very long time. So if John is in DA, guys, we should pay attention because that's a good thing. So you're definitely in the right place.
And you know how fortunate I am. I know what you're talking about, Paulo. How fortunate am I? John Davenia is actually my personal sponsor and coach.
Oh wow!
I love
you. Oh, you're on the good. Oh, then good. You've got everything in your hands to have success. Because what changed for me was having a good mentor too. That was number one. And then the opportunity. The opportunity is the vehicle, right? But the mentorship, and if you're saying you've got John as your mentor, dude, it's game over. Game over. So because you've got everything. You've got everything for success. Yeah. And I look forward to meeting you in Vegas too, because that's events, man. It's where the magic happens. Sitting in front of a computer, learning mindset, cool, very important. You need that, of course. Learning marketing in Facebook, cool. You need it for your business. But when you meet people in the flesh, and you have sometimes you gotta laugh now, but this is true. My major breakthroughs are not even from the people from stage, and bless them. Great people. I learn a lot as well from them. But sometimes it's a conversation over in a bar with somebody. And they say something, and I'm like, wow, say that again? You know, I learn sometimes from private conversations with people, obviously, who do much, much better than me, and I'm in a bar having a conversation with them, and they just gave me $1 million idea. And guess what, guys? When I attend events, I only need one idea. That's my goal. I go to an event to get one idea. And if I can get 3, 4, and 5, even better, but I always get at least one idea, of course. So event is where the magic happens. I hope you guys get out of your comfort zone and made your best to attend the event, because I tell you what, it will change your life. I've got no, I'm sure, I'm 100% sure that it will change your lives, you know. And I'm sorry if I sound a little bit sluggish. It's actually 3 o'clock in the morning here in the UK, by the way. So, you know, it's in the middle of the night, but I'm normally a little bit more, you know, awake or a little bit more excited. It's just today. I had a long day. Like John, I had a 7 o'clock wake up call. So did I. I was up in the gym early this morning, so I'm feeling a little bit sluggish now. But guys, my passion is still there. I hope you guys can feel it, because it's there. And I just want to motivate as many people as I can with this call. So there you go. Thanks very much, man. Cheers.
Yeah, my pleasure. And by the way, Glenn is over in your time zone. He's spending a month in Scotland, so it's the same time for him. Yeah, you guys are both on the British Isles. We do have one more caller in queue we'll take, and then we'll wrap up. And let's see, 305 area code. Is that Miami? You're live on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Robert speaking.
Hey, Robert. You're in Miami.
Hey. Yes, I'm in Miami. That's correct.
Awesome. You're live on the air, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. This is my first time joining one of the live calls. I recently joined on the RISE program and going through the videos. And my question today was actually about mentorship. Since DA is, you know, about coaching and surrounding yourself by like-minded people, I was wondering, for people that have never had a mentor before besides, the coach that comes with the BA program, how do you actually go out to events and how do you attract those type of people that ultimately can become your mentor, and what do you ask them?
John, do you want me to go for that? Do you want me to
Yeah, this is your call.
answer that? Yeah, I would. This is how I did it. Obviously, I chased this guy online and did whatever I had to do to get his number, and I actually called him, believe it or not. True story. Today, you won't even be able to call this guy because he's so big, he won't even pick up the phone. But in those days, for some reason, he answered the phone, and I managed to get him on the phone. But the way that I would do it, and I've done this, it's go to events and just take pictures with the leaders, interview them, get a camera, and just do a quick 5-minute interview with the leaders. And just do your very, very best to attend all the events, because guess what? Once you start attending all the events, your face will be known. And once you start producing, your name will be known as well. So the way I did it, I started to attend all the events, and then I start producing. And what I mean by start producing, I start raising the ranks, or whatever you would call it. I started to, obviously, to make money, to produce for the company. And once you start producing, guess what? Your attention, the leaders will start paying attention to you, and you will be in these circles. 5 years ago, nobody knew who I was. Maybe it's still, even today, nobody knows who I am. But I'm, I'm doing okay right now because I've surrounded myself with these leaders. I mean, some of the people that I call my friends today, they were like gurus to me. They were like, oh my God, if I could meet this person. Oh, look at John Levine. Look at all these names, And now, today, these people are friends of mine. How did I do it? By producing, by attending the events. You cannot do that just behind a computer. You just cannot. If you want to make this your full-time occupation or business or passion, then you gotta go and attend the events. And when you do that, your face will start to be noticed, and then you will find role models, you'll find people that, will eventually coach you. That depends on you, but you've got to do the legwork first and attend the events. So I hope this helps you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was super valuable, and that totally makes sense. So thank you for that elaboration.
You're welcome, man. And you in Miami? Dude, there's so many events. When I say events, sometimes it doesn't have to be just DA events. I was in UPW 5 years ago attending a Tony Robbins event in New York. I mean, I met wonderful people there. Why? There was about 5,000 people in that event, by the way. They're all like-minded people like you and I. They all wanted the same things. I mean, not exactly the same goals, but in principle, they all want, to better themselves, self-development, right? I've made my best relationships, and I really mean this, guys. I swear to God, this is absolutely 100% truth. I made the most meaningful relationships in my life at the events, and this is the truth. So, I met my mentor for the first time at an event. I went to meet him in Miami. My best friends, are people that I met at events, including John Levine. So there you go. Attending the event is where the magic is. And I know it's not easy, but guess what, guys? It's getting out of your comfort zone. And if you do that, if you get out of your comfort zone and you attend the events, you will see what can happen to your business. You'll definitely go to the next level, like I did. Everything that I'm telling you here tonight, by the way, it's by experience. I'm not telling you guys to do things that I didn't do. Oh, I heard if you attend events, you will succeed and you'll do okay. No, I did these things. So I'm qualified to tell you that, this is how it works. Go to the events and you'll have your biggest breakthroughs. You make meaningful connections that will help your business, and you'll find probably your mentor there. So I'm only speaking from experience. So that's exactly what I would do. I hope this helps.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you, Paulo. We do have one more caller. If we could take them real quick, we'll bring out our next caller and final caller, which will be Virginia, I believe. Is it Virginia?
Yes.
Hey, Virginia, you're live on the air.
Well, I'm just now beginning.
Welcome.
and I don't know much about it yet, but I'm willing to learn.
Well, you're in the right place, Virginia. Definitely get with your coach. Look at that. She's brand new here, and she's coming out on a live Black Diamond call.
Right.
So, Virginia, welcome to you. Get with your coach and hang on for the ride, because it is just a beautiful thing. So we're glad you're here, my friend. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and end Q&A. And thank you again, everyone who participated. And, of course, thank you, Paulo, and thank you, of course, for the kind words. You know, it's sometimes after a while, you know, we can wonder, you know, what sort of effect do we have, especially when we're just in the habit of doing what we know how to do, right? And so you've become a great marketer, and I am, I guess, a professional talker at this point. I talk really good, and so so that's what we do, and it's good to know that it has a positive effect in the marketplace and in our community. So, Paulo, thank you again. Looking forward to seeing you 2 months from today, everyone, at the Marketing Mastery event in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's an easy place to get in and out of. The casinos and everything in Las Vegas, they want to make sure that $8.95 lobster and those cheap plane tickets keep on flowing because they want you there. I don't know if they still have $8.95 lobster buffets, but I just remember driving through Vegas and seeing signs for stuff like that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not going to eat your $8 lobster.
I'll be stay away from that.
That's one thing about Nevada is the food is extremely inexpensive because that's not where they make their money. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. That's it for now. Join us tomorrow morning on the wake-up call with our friend Joel. So I'll see you all there. And right on schedule, Paulo. I've got our next student that I'm about to go coach. So I will see you all real soon. Thanks again, my friend.
Appreciate you guys. Good night.
Good night.